Trump's mugshot, it didn't even drop yet.
It was fake?
That's a fake one?
Yeah, it's fake.
For real?
I know, he looked kind of villainish.
Yeah.
Didn't you think so? Like, I was,
Yeah.
like, I was going to
What was
ask
it, AI?
you.
No.
Oh, it's an older photo, right?
Yeah, his team dropped it.
But it is what he's wearing.
Yeah.
Out, so
They took the picture themselves.
Let's be honest.
that's the picture they chose to put out?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Let's be real, bro.
No,
Donald
no,
Trump
no.
dressed like this every day of his
Every day.
life.
Facts.
So it's not hard to
That,
like.
He's selling
that
the
nigga
truth
like
now.
a Simpson.
Yeah.
That
No.
nigga wore the same shit. That nigga like a cartoon.
They want him in jail so like they just want to feel that he was in jail, bro. The people want to see that so bad. I don't get it. He's rich, bro. He's not going to jail.
He's not going to
Get
jail.
over it.
Honestly,
No
Sharp,
matter what you push.
I think as many people want to see him in jail, I think
not
the
going.
majority of people realize that too, and then what they want is to stop him from running. I think that is ultimately what
That's
they're
just to
well,
go?
even getting him a
Any
felon,
way
and I
possible.
found that out. Like even him, if he became a felon from this,
still can-
he could still
He
run.
still can run.
It doesn't have anything. It will not stop him. I think we was talking about that the other day, Flacco, and you said, no, it won't stop him.
But
know
don't
what
you
I
think
mean?
that that's an issue if, like, with our laws, we find that he was guilty of breaking them and he's still considered the best option?
I think that it's a worse issue that there's people from 70 years ago, specifically Democrats, who did some foul shit to niggas, and they still in office.
But we're
now.
talking about, okay, but what
You
if
feel
they...
me? Right. So hence, and if criminals can't run for office,
Was it illegal what
For
they did?
what?
Were they
He
charged
stood
with,
up for
were
the
they,
bad
were they
man.
charged with crimes that they were...
Bro,
crazy.
Were
for
they
one
charged?
time.
That's crazy.
Were they charged?
Because he white.
Were these people
That's
charged
crazy.
with crimes?
who? No.
Any of these people?
No.
So then why are you bringing them up in this example?
Slavery was once legal, right? But if God forbid, if some motherfucker lived like 400 years, who had an intricate role in making slavery legal, should that motherfucker be able to run for office? No, right? Because that motherfucker, why?
That's a good
Committed
example.
crimes.
Even
that-
though you're not living 400 years, that's a good example.
Yeah, right? So hence,
All right, I got what he was saying.
You could have been a part of some crazy shit and still be able to run. I get
feel
what
me?
you're saying.
Hey, right? So hence, niggas like Biden, who was a part of some treacherous shit, 70 years later, he's president. So hence, if that nigga, if him and those motherfuckers, like who again, right? Like those like built-in, like those legacy senators, right? Who just been there for like 80 years now. If those motherfuckers can still be in office,
They need to go.
They need to go.
man, you feel me, right?
If you was making laws during segregation and shit, you need to go.
Real shit.
You need to go, my nigga.
Facts.
I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, guess what though?
But you don't think people are allowed to evolve and change their opinions?
Shit. Hey, right? Listen.
Some.
Yeah, right. So, no.
But the
Josh,
majority-
me and you both know it's some shit you just don't come back.
Yeah.
You
from.
feel me?
You
Just
can't.
some, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody from that time period would agree that what they did was right.
They gonna.
But what we're talking about right now are
publicly-
crimes that were committed,
Because they'd be
actual laws that
overpowered
were
now.
broken, and our election system manipulated with that
Sure.
should forbid somebody from running, being
Josh,
part of
right?
our elections.
Hey, right, Josh, right?
And Flacco, wait.
Sure.
I'm using the example of laws broken right now.
Sure.
You're going back to a hypothetical of somebody's opinions and stances 70 years ago that they would admit now were wrong.
Sure.
Trump's not admitting
I
that he
think
did
that's
anything
giving
wrong.
a lot of people too much credit though, because most motherfuckers. Are
No,
just
because
gonna
you
admit
couldn't
they
publicly
wrong
support
publicly.
Yeah, you couldn't publicly. Okay, so then what are
Publicly,
we
they'll
saying?
admit they're wrong. Privately, with their friends, they be like, "Man, I hope we could make them niggas use
Don't
their
they
own
do it
seat
all the
right
time?
now."
But we don't vote for
They
people
fired
based
John
on.
Gruden. People have gotten fired because of that shit, of old emails and just shit like that.
Where
So
they really public, where they privately say some shit,
they
and then it
privately
gets
say
publicly
some
outed.
shit, and then once it gets out to the public, they know because people are afraid of that. They know it can fuck their whole career.
But
up.
are people able to vote on what they don't hear, or only on what they hear and what's presented to them?
I get what you said, but then that means you could just vote off all false pretenses. Then just all false shit that a nigga say, just whatever they say.
You have
that's
to
what they said, we
you have to
vote.
trust them, but then you also have to use facts to support what they are saying.
I ain't trusting none of that shit. That's why I don't vote as far as like presidential elections, state wise. Like you know what I'm saying, like props and like certain shit like that.
Sure.
Go ahead and vote. But nigga, presidential elections, nigga, fuck out of here.
Here, right, but
I
like,
don't.
okay.
Both sides of shit.
Right, but
I'm
here,
good.
right? When it comes to that, though, right?
You don't fuck with Trump, Josh?
No, Josh don't fuck with Trump at all, right? No.
Absolutely not.
Josh, Josh,
Honestly, did you watch
Yeah.
Flocka? Did you watch the Republican debates the other day?
no.
He said, I'm not watching that shit.
Listen, bro.
See, this is
I
what
made my mind up already. You feel me? Like, you feel me, right?
And I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah, right? You feel me? Hey, listen,
I
my
think
mind.
that's part of the problem, though.
What?
Is that you and a lot of people have made up their mind already, and that's not how the elections and our democracy is based out of. You need to give people the opportunity to change and provide,
Who's done better for us, Josh? Who do you think, Trump or Biden?
I've done
Since they've
better
run.
in the
Who?
last 3 years than I did in the 4 years before
I
that.
feel like I did worse.
I know that I'm doing better.
Because, the only reason I say that is because, like I said, Trump really tried to open up some shit. And what I like about him is he don't play about us. That's all. Like, if somebody come fucking with us, bro, he really about that action. You know what I'm saying? And we need somebody like that. We
He's a
don't
general.
need somebody that's just for the people. We need a businessman. We need somebody to know how to run
Trump
some
is
shit.
what I think is a good example of a bad leader. I think he's someone who's self-serving and is extremely manipulative and has convinced a whole lot of people that his interests are these countries' interests. And that I'm scared that a lot of people actually trust him and believe that. And ultimately, this is a dude that's only out for himself. And you guys are gonna be caught holding.
He's grabbed a pussy or two, but man, I mean, he's a man. He's a fucking man.
This nigga right here, he's grabbed the pussy
He
or
grabbed
two.
the pussy or two.
He got a dick.
Come on, bro. Like,
Look, what I don't like, what I do like about him is I like the evil that tell me he don't like me rather than the one that hide his hand. But at the same time, I don't. A lot of people who see themselves in Trump got like Union flags on their shit and like Confederate flags on their yards and you know what I'm saying, like shit like that. Big trucks talking about, you feel me, hard R's and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of people who match a lot of his ideologies opposed to mine. So that's what I don't like. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who be rallying up wouldn't want to stand 2 inches next to a nigga that look like me. You feel me? A lot of the people who vote for him don't like motherfuckers who look like me. So that's the only thing I like. What do y'all see in him that what it is so much? You know what I'm saying? So it's like they see something and it's like, I don't like it. So
that's the question though. So do you
get what I'm trying to say?
I always said, they said they want a nigga in office. There we go. He's just an orange nigga. I said it before, man. He do shit just like that. I remember when he brought, I think it was a basketball team or football team to the White House, because you get to take those trips. I guess the kitchen was closed. So what'd he do? Order a bunch of Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, set that shit out on the table.
Fucking, bro, just
They
dumb.
took pictures of that shit.
Nigga
But
ridiculous.
niggas was eating it.
I guarantee they tried to damn near sue that nigga for that shit.
But niggas was eating it. Yeah, I guess the kitchen was closed and he was still trying to get him something.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he went and ran and grabbed a whole bunch of fast food.
Nigga down there a billionaire got niggas Burger King.
Oh, my
got
mama.
nigga $1.50
This
nuggets.
is true.
Hey,
bro.
man.
Hey,
Get the fuck.
That's real nigga activities, bro.
This is
No.
insane.
Here, right? Do you think you have more in common with the down south niggas and who support Trump, or the liberals in Seattle?
I would say Seattle.
Okay, here,
But
right?
but if you just put the comparisons up 9 times out of 10, it usually looks like the opposite.
Yeah, right. Here. For example, like down south are usually conservative, God-fearing,
it's Bible Belt.
anti-LGBTQ.
Yeah, it's Bible Belt.
Don't trust the government, believe in little government and intervention. Those are all things that we, just being black in this country, just like more times than not, we gravitate towards, right?
But we don't see it as much because we're more city
Facts.
bound in rural areas. So down south, you're right, bro. It's fixated on because that's all they got to really care about.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So you're right.
Yeah, right.
right.
And bro, listen, right? Bro, like here, right? So
Right.
and here's why I get really concerned, right? When folks say people change, right?
Yeah.
Now, you can change on your food intake, on you being an atheist or not, religious.
How you vote.
Yeah, right. But I don't think that you can change valuing a human being, being a human being. Meaning, if you were opposed civil rights for people and you was not acknowledging people were actual human beings, you consider me less than a human being at some point? I don't think 50 years can change you the value of me as a human being.
I agree.
So here's a Democrats who was
But Flacco,
that's value as a human being?
Okay,
Nah,
but
they can't- come on,
Flacco,
get him out of
these
here.
are politicians like you've said.
Sure.
Do you think that these are their personal beliefs or how they were,
Yes, absolutely.
how their
Absolutely.
constituents implied them to vote, or how the other people who were involved with them were telling them to vote? Because you
I
are
don't give
proving their
motherfuckers that
belief
much
right
credit.
now.
Sure, right?
You said these are their
No,
deep-hearted beliefs that they were voting for.
I don't think
a
that
lot-
anybody,
You don't
right?
feel like that's a reach though a little bit, Josh?
I don't
yeah.
think that senators are voting on policies that they fully believe in most of the time. They disagree with a lot of that shit, but they have to do what's right for their party, what's right for their area. They're not thinking about their beliefs.
So
and I
pretty
think
much
that's what we
everything's
need to
decided
separate a
over
little
game of
bit.
Golf. Hey, you
Is
give
that
me this, I'll give you this 4 years.
what
from
you
now,
can
right?
base it on? No, what you can base it on is how they vote and how money is distributed and how laws are made. And if you disagree with the laws that are made, and if those laws are not changed and they're not voting in ways that say otherwise,
Let's be real, Josh.
who knows what their personal beliefs are?
Politics these days is all about alliances, baby. It's all about who's aligned with who. You
But
know what I'm
I
saying?
think that's yeah. Do you ever watch? All right. Do you guys remember the show House of Cards? Do you guys ever watch that?
No, sir.
Me no.
Hell no, it's not like some white
Explain
shit.
a little bit to us.
It was
sir.
a
some white
pretty
shit,
good
put me on.
insight just into how the political parties run and how there's all these micro groups within within one group.
Sound like a hood.
Pretty much.
I've just seen how they deal with each other in courtrooms. I've been the person that's had to sit there and watch these people deal with each other over my fame. So it really does. It really does matter the relationships and the alliances, and pretty much they trade and borrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you'll give me this,
Exactly.
and the next 2, 3 will give you this.
And those are compromises to get whatever they're looking to actually get across. They're not. They might be compromising, moral beliefs, but that's not their personal.
But that's why I believe a lot of this shit is based off that, the politics and who's being chosen to office and elected, even to being as simple some as a mayor.
Right,
You know
but
what I'm
sharp though,
saying?
right?
A councilman.
Yeah, right, but listen, unless you're the most evil, vile person ever, I find it impossible that you can go to bed every night knowing, oh, that person right there is a human. I believe that they are a human, but I'm voting in on things that like disqualifies them from their natural born right as a human. I can't believe that anybody can go to bed at night and sleep well every night, knowing what they're doing if they don't believe that person ain't no human, right? I just don't think that, again, unless you're just a vile and evil person, and even at that though, you still shouldn't be, like in office, right? Because if you're that evil, that twisted, that narcissist, that you can you can sleep at night well and comfy knowing, oh shit, I'm depriving that human of their natural rights as a human. Nah, homie, you feel me, right? So hence is why, we gotta think real carefully here. Do we go with the niggas who historically, was again, they were rebels, but they were usually, on the right side of history, which is anti-slavery, anti-Jim Crow, anti-discrimination. They was usually on the right side of history. Or the motherfuckers who was on the wrong side of history, pro-slavery, pro-everything, and now they're using dollars and funds now to say, hey, listen, man, we gave this dollar to the fucking inner city. We are pro these niggas.
I agree with this nigga.
Feel me? So fuck the Democrats, my nigga.
All people from the South whose families were built on slavery were generationally going to feel a certain way. These weren't Republicans in the South or Democrats in the South. This was most of the people from the South.
I agree with that too.
If one party
I hear you, Josh.
had these beliefs, I don't care what flip-flop or didn't flip-flop, my nigga. We have to always be anti that party,
Right.
No, you
right?
don't.
Of course we do,
Fuck them niggas.
No, you don't.
right?
Because the other party didn't help you either. What was done?
The book is free slavery.
Dude,
Free slave.
Lincoln was not an actual. If Lincoln would not be considered a Republican right now.
He identified
And
as a
again, the
Republican
parties
and
have
free slave.
and again the parties have changed,
Hey.
and that's a massive identifier right there. You're basing something off of 70, hundreds of years ago. I'm talking about the last 50 years, last 20 years,
Sure.
your lifetime, your kids' lifetimes that are going to be impacted by the decisions you make when you put your opinions out on the politicians and the people who are running the country and making the decisions.
Yeah, right, sure, right.
You should look at how your life has been impacted and what your future is going to, how you want it to look. And the party that's been more representative and more helpful has not been the Republicans.